This channel is dedicated to helping musicians, to helping artists build an audience and get their music heard. And as the music industry changes, I want to make sure that the strategies that we are using are as up to date as possible. On this channel, there are over 1,000 videos on what to do and how to do it, how to build the audience. But very rarely do we ask the question, why? Why are we doing this? What do you want to happen, and what does success look like? Because if you can't answer that question, then you can't be successful, because there's no way to measure success if you don't know what success looks like. Now, I'm talking to hundreds of artists every single day, whether that's on socials or in DK Music Business Academy, and I would say the majority of artists that I talk to don't know what success looks like. They know they have a desire to build numbers, they have a desire to get more of an audience, to build something, but they don't know for why. They don't know what they are working towards. Let me tell you a story. A couple of months back, I was approached by an artist who was signed to a major label, and his numbers were in free fall. They were going backwards. Not only was he not getting the engagement he wanted, but he was getting people unfollowing his Instagram every single day. You just saw a sea of red on his social blade. He was at a point where he was thinking, this is not working. Everything's going wrong. How do I turn this around? So we made a plan. We put a strategy in place, and with the right strategy, with some hard work and the right priorities, all of a sudden, over a couple of weeks, we started to turn it around, even getting hundreds of thousands of views on a TikTok or an Instagram post. And we got to the point where we were getting at least 1,000 new followers every single day. You go on Social Blade and it would be green, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 followers a day. And then we put a new single out. And I remember a piece of content getting 5,000 views on this piece of content. And then I got the call, I got the message. This is bullshit. I got 5,000. How can I get 5,000? Wow. Over a couple of months, we've gone from panic, everything's gone wrong, through to so many views and so many new followers that now 5,000 is deemed as a failure as opposed to a success. Now, that's a specific example, but I see this in different ways all of the time. For example, it could be playlists. Your song might have got on a couple of big playlists and you could be getting hundreds of thousands of plays on your new song. Fantastic. But the excitement then soon fades when you realize that these are just casual listeners who are listening on a playlist. They're not real fans. They're not real people. And therefore, you're not getting the opportunities from it. You're not getting that building into your socials. Or it might be that your socials are building, but those people aren't going across to Spotify to listen. Or it might be that you do have good socials and you do have good Spotify numbers, but people aren't coming to gigs. And then the focus is on, I can't sell tickets. And so instead of thinking of the positives of Spotify or socials, all we're thinking of is, this is failing because all I want to do is sell tickets, and there's the problem. It turns out with most artists, whilst they don't know what success looks like, they certainly know what failure looks like. But how can you win with this mentality? Because you are not defining success, you are defining failure, which is going to lead to frustrations and anxiety. And your brain is telling you if you are not succeeding, then you are failing, because you're setting unrealistic expectations. You're measuring the wrong success. So I want you to think about these 3 ways of measuring success. What does success look like? What does good look like? And more importantly, how do you know that you are progressing, that you are winning, and you are not failing? Well, the first of these things is measuring yourself against yourself. You are not measuring yourself against unrealistic expectations like, I want to play Wembley Stadium, I want to be the biggest artist in the world. I want you to measure yourself against you a month ago, against you 6 months ago, or you a year ago. Because now you can see progression. Now you can see how far you've come. Now you can see the mistakes that you were making that you aren't making anymore. Because now you are building and you are improving, which means your expectations are allowed to change because you've seen how you have progressed and where you want to take it. But this is not in a negative way. This is in a positive way. This is you saying, I have now progressed into the next level. This allows me to reassess and go again. Number 2. Are you proud of your work? Are you proud of your music? Are you proud of your content creation? Are you proud of the fan base that you have, no matter how small that fan base is? Because you have a responsibility to those people who show up, whether it's coming to a gig or even showing up on your socials. These people are there for you, and therefore you have a responsibility to them. And are you proud of what you have built? I think this is such an underrated metric for success that people don't use because we're so fascinated by numbers and greed and more. Instead of saying, I'm really proud of this, I'm really happy with what I've created, and that should be one of our measurements of success. And number 3, and the most important one, is opportunities, which is the reason why we do this. We are building opportunities. We are making the music and we are building content in order to get the attention, to build a fan base. And it starts with discovery. It starts with people finding you as an artist, finding your music, and then over a period of time, building that familiarity, and then hopefully hitting the follow button and coming with you as eventually a fan. Now, what that means is you are building a fan base in order to build opportunities, whether that is to go on tour, do some gigs, whether it's going to be to build playlists, whether it's going to be because you want to be on radio or TV, whatever the opportunities are. Those are the things that are the fun things, the good experiences and ways to help you grow. But here's the question. Are you looking for these, or are you expecting them to just drop in your lap? Because the reality is they probably won't for a long, long time. It's up to you to use the fan base or the numbers that you've got and the good quality content that you're creating to get that in front of the right people to open doors. Now, here's what I mean. Okay, I don't have the biggest audience in the world. I'm not Mr. Beast. And every single day, I'll get the odd opportunity that comes through Instagram or comes through email. But if I want to go on a bunch of podcasts, which I think I could probably do, they're not just going to drop in my lap. I've got to go and ask them. But it's the socials, it's the proof, it's the social proof, it's the numbers, it's what I've built over the past few years that allows me to get my foot in the door of the podcast. The problem is, if I'm expecting all of these podcasters to just go, well, obviously I need Damian to come on the podcast, I'm going to get in touch with Damian, and I'm just going, I will arrive when I feel like. That's not the way it works. It doesn't work like that. What works is if I can build the proof, then I can use that to open the doors. But it's not up to them. It's up to me. It's up to me to go and look for these things. And when it comes to the opportunities, you are building your numbers, you are building your socials, not just the numbers of growth, but also the proof of you, the artist, on your socials, showing off who you are in order to take this to get the door open to build those opportunities. And we should be measuring success via these opportunities, and not opportunities that have come to me, but opportunities that I have got because of my socials, because of my music, because of me, the artist, and my artistry. But you got to go looking for it. So back to the big question, what does success look like to you? And more importantly, can you break it down? Because normally I'll get an answer like, because I want to fill a stadium, I want to be the biggest artist in the world. And I just think, God, that's an anxiety-ridden answer if ever I've heard one. So what you've said is, I can pretty much fill up nothing, but I'd like to fill the biggest venue in the entire world. There's no stepping stones. And what we've got to do is we have to be able to break this down. So if you want to fill a stadium, well, it probably starts with being able to go and do a gig. If you're doing a gig, then it probably means that you need to be able to sell 100 tickets in your local city. If you can sell 100 tickets in your local city, then you probably need to be going outside of your city to see if you could start selling tickets in a different city. You can see that we are using this as stepping stones, and those, to me, are big levels of success rather than having this huge success or failure, shit or bust. It's either I'm the biggest artist in the world or I'm a failure. I'm either getting millions of views and millions of listens on Spotify or I'm failing. Because this mentality of success or failure is just too simple, because you are not failing. You are improving, you are learning, you are gaining experience, you are building an audience who hopefully over a period of time will build that familiarity and become a fan. So stop thinking that this is shit or bust, and stop moving the goalpost when you arrive. It's completely fine to reassess, but that doesn't mean what you've done in the past is a failure. the most important thing here is set your goals, make them achievable, and celebrate the wins. In a world where everyone is telling you what to do and how to do it, I want you to think about the why. Why are you doing this? And what does success look like? What does good look like to you? And how do you break that down into smaller bite-sized chunks so over a period of time you can build up to the things that you want to achieve? And what I'd really love to know is, what does success look like for you? In the comments below, I want to know, is this just, I want to make a living at this, I want to do some gigs, or is it, I want to headline the biggest festivals in the world? What does it look like? And more importantly, how are you going to break that down? I want to see in the comments below. Anyway, do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. More importantly, I'll see you again soon.